You raised the tragedy from San Bernardino yesterday, and the fact is we don't know yet if the two individuals involved had any mental health issues, but certainly we have representations of folks who have had mental health issues involved in gun violence. So whether it's San Bernardino or tens of hundreds of others, I don't think that's of any consequence. What I think we have to focus on is exactly what Assemblyman Johnson spoke about, which is, what are we doing here today? Are we really trying to protect the public and ensure public safety with this particular bill? Now, I, like everybody else in the chamber who voted for the bill, all 74 of us, we all believed that we were doing the right thing that would prevent somebody who may have had a mental health issue in their history, stopping them from getting a firearm permit and getting a firearm. And it's interesting to have all 80 of us, or whoever read the bill and whoever read comments on the bill, come in here, place a vote, and to think that it's possible we may have missed something. Well, we apparently did miss something, because I think the administration has a very good point in their conditional veto. The reality is that there is a loophole as big as a Mack truck in the bill. And to not acknowledge that, I think we're doing a disservice to the citizens of our state. Because if I have a mental health issue in my background, and I want to get a firearm, and I know I have to get that record expunged, maybe I just don't say I want to get a firearm. Maybe I just say I want to go get my mental health records expunged. And I would pose that question to the sponsor. What if I just go in and get the record expunged first and don't apply for a firearm at that time? And now the record is expunged. Can I get a firearm later on? I pose that question.
Assemblyman Johnson, would you like to answer that question?
Oh, sorry.
There we go. If one applies for a firearm, as we all know, at least most of us should know, if you have a criminal record or been found guilty of a crime, you cannot purchase a firearm. If one applies for their mental health record to be expunged, when that is still in your history, it's still there that you had this issue. So therefore, when you apply for a firearm at some point in time later, I would think that that would kick in and the same process would take effect.
Okay, unfortunately, Assemblyman, that's not true. If the record's expunged, it is expunged. On the application process, we happened to check that this morning here. The application for a firearm does not say whether or not you've had the record expunged in your history. It just asks if you had a mental health issue. But the fact is, once you have it expunged, you can affirmatively state that you do not. And that is the big loophole in the bill. And I really would caution anybody who is seeking to achieve the goal of stopping the ability of people who may not be fit to have a firearm, because that seems to be everybody's focus, and it's the right focus. But the reality is that this bill doesn't do that job. This bill leaves that loophole wide open. So if I just bifurcate the process and apply for the expungement, and I get expunged, I can apply the next day, the next week, the next year to get a firearm, and there's no way of stopping me from doing that. If you follow the CV, it closes the loophole. Or I submitted Bill A4831, which again also closes that loophole. And I would urge everybody to just take a step back. You know, this is not about getting a notch on your belt to override the governor's veto. This is certainly not the bill to do that on. This is a very serious issue. Let's take a step back, look at what I'm saying, and try and get a bill that will accomplish the goal that we're trying to accomplish, which is to keep the guns out of hands of people who may not be fit to have them. Now, that entails passing the CV or passing A 4831.
Through the Speaker, this bill provides checks and balances for people who've had mental illness issues where the local police and the county sheriffs and the courts are involved in the process of this individual being allowed to purchase a firearm. That's what this bill does.
You're right. You're right, Assemblyman, but the problem is I can beat that.
Through the Speaker, this is about public safety. It's about providing a safer environment for the people in the state of New Jersey. That's what this bill does. Now, if you feel that it should be made stronger, maybe another bill will come through later on to do that. But this bill, as it is now, makes the people in New Jersey safer and puts in a process that allows the local police, county sheriffs, and the courts to be involved in the determination of a person should get a firearm if they had a mental issue problem.
But, Mr. Speaker, I just showed you how you can beat this bill. You have 12 votes on approving the CVs of the governor today on this exact agenda. Why would we not list a 13th bill to concur with the CV to accomplish true public safety? When we know right now, I just presented you with the way that somebody is going to get around this law very simply. Let's have a true public safety bill, not one that we know has got this loophole that a Mack truck can roll right through. It doesn't make sense. We have it right in front of us. We can do it right now. Pass the CV today. We will all, I'm sure, just about everybody would support that because it would accomplish the goal of keeping the hands of somebody who's not fit to have one.